Welcome to Zoo Tours, the channel that brings the zoo right to you. If this is your first time here, please hit those like and subscribe buttons and that bell icon to officially join the zoo crew. The Indianapolis Zoo has been one of the prime attractions of the Midwest since 1957, but most of what you see here at the zoo today opened in 1988 after the move to White River State Park. So mega million-dollar projects don't come around as often compared to a lot of other big-name parks. And I get it. Why would there be? Almost everything is still up to date, but when a new attraction is announced, it creates quite a bit of excitement. Even if it is something as small as a park with mist and a sloth I'll never see awake, or when they just slightly expand their already impressive reptile collection with alligators and crocodiles, the fight to survive. The zoo's newest little thing, located to the left of the International Orangutan Center, are two cold-blooded marvels on the opposite ends of the conservation spectrum. The American alligator. They've been around for over 30 million years. Naturally, one would think they could survive anything. Who knew that human involvement wouldn't be one of them? From the 1800s for over a century and a half later, they were hunted for their skins until there were only 100,000 left across 10 southern states. In 1967, the gator was listed as an endangered species. While commercializing the gator for their skins was still legal, it was regulated. And when you combine that with captive breeding and release efforts, you could say that it worked. Only 20 years later, they were taken off the endangered list. 30 years from that point, the American alligator population is now over 1 million, leaving their struggles behind. And that story is somewhat similar to what happened to their cousins on the left, also coming in at an average length of 13 feet, the Oronoco Crocodile, native to the freshwater lagoons of Colombia and Venezuela. That makes them the most southern inhabited crocodile of the New World. Now just imagine seeing millions upon millions spread out in those lagoons. But people in the region nearly wiped them out for consumption, for their eggs, and their teeth to create traditional medicines. The government did step in and did place them under protection in the 70s. Here's where their story differs from the alligator. These laws are not exactly well enforced, and several sources estimate there could be as little as 250 out in the wild. And they are still left waiting for opportunities to make their own comeback. After this viewing shelter, there's a really small setup for keeper encounters with their juvenile alligators. They may grow up to be the country's largest reptile, but they're only about 8 to 9 inches when they hatch, and remain handheld for the first few years of their lives, and they won't be fully grown until they're just over 10 years old. Along the side of the building is a display of America's conservation successes. And just a little more over to the left is a back view of the crocodile display. And finally, to the left of that is interactive signage that answers every question you've ever had about crocodilians. And that's it. As I always ask you to do, please comment what you think of this mini edition. Share this to everyone you know that also loves zoos and aquariums. And stay tuned for more episodes of the Indianapolis Zoo.